Everyone, Nick Gibson with Gibson Cyber. I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you about a brand new investigation that we were doing. This is one that we actually did free of charge because we just found it and we were being good internet citizens. My salesperson was out and about trying to find some conferences in the local Tampa area, and she Googled Tampa Business Expo. And as you can see, the two top rankings were Summer Business Expo and Tampa Business Expo.com. Okay, so she clicked on TampaBusinessExpo.com because they looked very similar, and she was presented with the ReCAPTCHA code on the right. So this was you have to click to make sure you're not a bot. And once you click to make sure you're not a bot, this instructional screen popped up. It said to verify your request, follow the instructions below. It wants you to press the Windows key and X to open up a terminal, which is the back-end command line of your computer, how everything runs. And it wanted you to paste, as Control V means paste, whatever the code was that it copied into your terminal, and then you're going to run that command. That is not standard ReCAPTCHA behavior at all. If you ever see something like this, back out of the site immediately. Now, I started this investigation. I didn't know who owned this site or what was happening, but I ended up finding out through the course of just, good forensic work. So I initially, after I got the word from my salesperson, I went over to TampasBusinessExpo.com, which, by the way, the site's taken down, so you can't get there now. I've already contacted them. But I went to TampasBusinessExpo.com, and I found this instruction, just like everyone was saying. It pops up, and it doesn't let you do anything else but follow these instructions. So instead of copying it to my terminal, I copied it to a clipboard. And what I found was interesting. So the top portion here is what was actually copied into my clipboard. All right. So this is what the attacker wanted you to run on your own PC. All right. This won't work for Mac. It's a PowerShell script. PowerShell does not run on Mac. So anyone with a Windows machine would have automatically been compromised had they run this script. What does this script say? Because as you can see, it is clearly encoded. This is gobbledygook that no one can understand but computers, all right? But what does it actually tell us? Well, when you do reverse engineering, which is what a fancy way to say change the coding into real human language, I find that we're running a PowerShell script. This is the decoded script. This is encoded. This is decoded. Decoded script says that it's going to create a random file name. It's going to then put it in a directory, put it in the same directory that it's in. It's going to then run that random file as a .ps1, and from that, it's going to invoke a web request, which means that it's going to go out to a website, and out file means it's going to grab a file. The file that it grabs will be named a random file name .ps1. And once that is run, or once that is downloaded, it will begin the run process of that file. Now, what this does, and what it shows me, and before I even went further in the investigation, I automatically knew exactly what this was. This is what we call a payload dropper, meaning that it is a piece of malicious code that you put onto a PC to download further malicious code. All right. It is merely a vehicle in which more malicious code, more powerful malicious code can be downloaded and installed onto your PC. All right. And if we were to take this doing our normal open source intelligence, we're going to take this domain, which if you see a domain of .beer, unless you're somewhere on a weird Budweiser landing page, I would say that this is not legitimate. We're going to take that to .beer and we're going to bring it over to our trusty old virus total. And look at that, 18 out of 91. I don't even have to go to other open source intelligence sources to know for sure that this is malicious. I mean, look at who's texting it: Kaspersky, Fortinet, Sophos, Cyradar, Bitdefender, Malware URL, SockRadar, ForcePoint. They are all saying that this is malicious. I would say this is pretty malicious. Now, if we want to verify why it's malicious, we can go over to relations. Here's the relations, though, that really showed up to me. It had this 91 detection for an also bad IP, had 2 more bad IPs attested to it, and it's known to change its code. As we already know, it changes its name every time that it downloads. So it has a random download name. It won't show up. So it's going to be named whatever this is, test, code, whatever. And even so much as numbers, PS1, right? So it's going to change its name often, but what it's not going to change is its hash file, the jam fingerprint right there. Usually this has like MD5 hashes for the file, but for some reason that isn't the case here. But there, as you see, we can see a lot of Cloudflare stuff, a lot of technical jargon. But what this all comes down to on my side of the house is I know now that this is malicious. So how did I find out the specific owner of this website? Well, when I went to these websites, you can look up their IP addresses, and I looked up their IP addresses, and I found that both of them were registered under Cloudflare, or the Cloudflare accounts that were showing to have these two domains on them. Both had very similar IP addresses, meaning they were in the same IP range. Typically, if you have an account with Cloudflare or whatever, you will have an account that has a similar IP range. So I knew that the two websites were not. It wasn't a evil twin attack like I thought first. It was actually a compromised website attack. Evil twin is where the website was copied and then an evil version of it was put out. This was not the case. This was a legitimate website that had been used at a past conference. It was left orphaned and still online. Someone compromised that site, and they were able to install that fake ReCAPTCHA. From there, who knows how many people actually clicked on it and downloaded the malware. I alerted I wrote up a nice little report. I alerted the person that owns the website, the registrar, and they immediately called me within about an hour. It was like a Saturday morning, and they were thanking me that they were alerted, and they went ahead and took down the site and redirected TampaBayExpo.com over to SummerBusinessExpo.com, which is the legitimate true site that is active and they want traffic going to. All this to say that there are literal cybersecurity risks all around you. All around you. My salesperson wasn't going out and actually finding threats. She was just trying to find a conference and ran across this. It happens everywhere. If you don't think it's going to happen to you, then you're just kind of lying to yourself. It's kind of like saying, well, I'm never going to die. It's just not going to happen. You are at one point in time going to have some sort of cybersecurity incident. And when you do, call Gibson Cyber.